Hi friends, welcome to my channel Cloud TV. In this video, I'm going to discuss about RDD. Okay, so it is a basic abstraction in the Apache Spark. Okay, so we'll see how we can construct RDD in different ways. Okay, before going to the topic, let me minimize the recording window. Okay, done. Okay, so we discussed in the earlier session that RDD is it's a distributed collection, right? It is a distributed collection, and it's it is fault tolerant. So if there is a failure in the some of the phase of execution of our application, the RDD will be able to reconstruct the reconstruct or recompute the failure task using the lineage. Okay, lineage it has maintained. Okay, so we'll see how it is working. Okay, so basically in this example, this is going to be a Scala example. Okay, so what I did is I took a simple example, okay, simple file, okay, which is a yarn sample yarn log file. Okay, so this is the one of the yarn application log file. So it contains log4j compatibility logs. Okay, so you will have info logs. If there is any error in your yarn application, then it will have the error log details. So if you see, there is a error in this point of time, so it got with some timeout exception. Okay, so it will have multiple details of your yarn application. So I took this file as example or input for our program. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to fetch the lines which has error. Okay, so basically, if you have a big log file, this is around how much is size? This is here. It's around 2.98 MB. Okay, say sometimes you get a 500 MB, 300 MB logs if it's a long running job. So in those scenarios, it's very difficult to go and search for your log and find out what is the issue. So in that case of scenario, you can try to use Spark and then create RDD, and then whatever information you want get it from that the data set, you can do that. So basically so what I did is so there are two lines of code I written here, right? So if you see val lines RDD equal to spark context dot, here Spark means the Spark session. The Spark session is one of the class. Okay, so we create an object for that will have a Spark context, SQL context, and IV context, other stuff. So we'll discuss those things in future session. So basically Spark session is for one user you can create one Spark session. So Spark supports multi-user environment, right? So you create a Spark session, then it will have internally it will have a Spark context. Okay, so using the Spark context, you can access the function called a text file. Okay, the text file function is used to read the text file from local storage or the HDFS. Okay, so I've taken it from the local storage, so you can take it from HDFS also. So when you read it from HDFS, so what happens is whenever you store a data in HDFS, the file actually broken into blocks, right, based on the block size, default block size. So default block size is, if it is in Apache Hadoop, it is 64 MB. So in Cloudera distribution and Works, it is 128. You can modify it based on your use case. Okay, so based on the default block size, your file will be broken into multiple blocks and it will be stored in the HDFS. So when you read that file in Spark, so each block becomes partition in RDD. So we saw a definition of RDD. It's a collection of distributed it's a distributed collection of partitions, right? So that's what you see here. So three blocks become three partitions. So each partition can run on different machines to do some computation. So when you do this text file, so you got Hadoop RDD. It's Hadoop RDD of this RDD of type Hadoop RDD, and so we created a variable called lines RDD. Okay, so this has three partitions. So when you again, what I'm doing is I'm applying a filter. So basically, I want to see only the lines which has error, because I want to find out what is the error in that. Okay, so if you want to do or if you want to do the information about the line of execution, then you can use the info keyword to search lines which has information about the execution. Okay, but in this case I am actually want to see the lines which has error flag. Okay, so you apply filter and iterate each element. So it will go and actually what happens is RDD will apply this function on each partition, the filter function on each partition. So if you apply this filter function on this partition, so it will fetch only the line which has flag error. So the what you need to edit from here is, so RDD will have collection of partition. So each method will be applied on the the function will be applied on the each partition, and it will give the result. Okay, so that's what you see. First we apply the text file transformation, you get the one RDD. Again we applied one more transformation called filter, we got new RDD. So whenever you apply transformation, you get a new RDD. Okay, so so this is the I want to represent in pictorial. Let's go and see the example in our code. Okay, so before going to the code, I want to show the Apache documentation page where they discussed about RDD. Okay, so what they said is this definition we saw already. RDD is a basic abstraction in Spark, and represents immutable partition collection of elements that can be operated in parallel. Okay, so internally each okay, sorry for the interruption. So internally each RDD characterized by 5 main properties. One is it will have a list of partitions, so that's what we saw in the slide, right? And it will have a function for computing each split. Split is nothing but it is a logical word for block actually. Okay, so so we can say so the function it will have function which is going to be applied on each partition. And the third property is list of dependencies on other RDDs. So example, if you see the map partition RDD, okay, which is lines RDD, it lines error lines RDD, which will have actually dependencies. It will have dependency as lines RDD, because this error lines RDD came from the lines RDD by applying the function called filter. So those informations are captured in the list of dependencies. Okay, and there are other two properties. These two are optional. Okay, so basically what is the type of partitioner you are using for the key value RDD, and also it will have a list of preferred locations to compute each split. So basically it will have, if you are reading a file from HDFS, it will have block location. So these 5 characters are actually these are the main properties the one RDD will have. So these are the 3 main properties the RDD will have, and these are optional 2 properties. So to understand RDD, these 5 properties are very important. Okay, then we will go to example which I did it on Scala. Okay, so if you see with this is the I actually created a SBT based Scala project. Okay, for this example. So it is a self-contained Spark application. We call it a self-contained application. Okay, basically to create a SPT based project in I'm using a ID called IntelliJ. Okay, so if you want to set up this IntelliJ and configure SPT and create SPT based project, Scala project, you just follow this. I made a video on this earlier, so you can follow this and you can set up the IntelliJ and you can create a Spark application, SPT based Spark application. So when you create so you just go to new and project, new. I'm sorry, new project, and you say here Scala and it's SPT based project, and you say next. So it will suggest you to specify the project name and what is the JDK your configure. So JDK, I am using Spark 2.4.3. Okay, so I think plus 2.x it is preferred JDK version is 1.8. So what is the SPT version? What is the Scala version? So this is the Scala version I am using it. So if you give this, then it will create a project like this, and you will have actually in the main directory you will have file called spt build.spt. Okay, so this is the file where you mention dependencies for your project. So basically we are using Spark, right? So in latest 2.4.3 from 2.x I guess, so all the core libraries are kept it in the artifact Spark SQL Spark-SQL itself. So basically this is the group ID and this is artifact ID and this is a version of Spark. Okay, so once you specify this, so what is the dependencies jar to run our Spark application, that will be downloaded. So if we navigate this external libraries, all this jars are downloaded when I specified this dependency. Okay, the Spark dependency, and go to the SPT tab and just say refresh. So it will start downloading the dependencies for your project. Okay, then I wrote a simple Scala object. Okay, so it is a Scala object is a singleton. Basically it's only one object. Okay, you can create Scala class and then you can create object for that, or you can directly create a Scala object class. Okay. So what I did is it's very simple program. So first we create the Spark session, right? So basically Scala object will have main method. So this is the starting point of the program. So I just printed the list line. The main thing is you have to create a Spark session. So the Spark session class, using the Spark session class, you can create an object for Spark session, right? So it has builder method which in turns gives ability to create application name, but what is the master. So we discussed in the earlier session that master is a cluster manager. So I am running from my local laptop, so I am just given local star. When we run it on the cluster, we will use either standalone cluster or yarn. So that we will see in the coming up session. So in this I'm going to run it from local, and I'm just kept because local star is nothing but multiple threads it can create basically. And then you say get or create. So this will give you the Spark session object. Okay, using the Spark session object you can do what are the operation you want to do. So basically I'm set. So when you this setting is log level setting is basically when you run this program you get a lot of information, right? Log information, right? I don't want to the info information because it will actually readability wise it will be very difficult to show you the output. So that's why I just only if any error comes and running this application, then you show me only the errors. Don't show me the info logs. So until this Spark session is created, it will be showing the info session, but after this whatever the operation I do, I will not see info lines here. So then this is the sample yarn log file path which I showed you, and so here only we are reading. So spark session dot spark context dot text file. So this function will read the file, okay, and will create a RDD. So using the text file function, we are creating RDD. So this is a Hadoop RDD, okay, and then I am applying a transformation called filter, okay, to iterate each element. You just use this function. It's kind of this is anonymous function, okay. So you need to provide a function, right? So this is the function. This will do it. This function has to do some computation, right? So what we are doing is we are saying iterate each line. So to do that, actually we can, like this you can do. So basically variable, okay, per line, and you say this symbol. So means you take each line from this RDD and apply this calculation. So what I'm doing is a line. If the line contains keyword error, then I return only those lines to the new RDD, which is error lines RDD. Then you can do if you want to do any other transformation, you can do it. I just did only count and collect. So when you do count, so you will get the number of lines which has error flag, and then I just printed that count. And also to find out the lineage, there is a property to just check the RDD how it is built, okay. So using the toDebug string, you can actually see how this RDD is constructed. And then next transformation action I used is action. So I just want to see the lines which has error. You just say RDD dot collect, which will return the collection of lines, okay. Then you iterate each line, and so this will give you the this is RDD. When you apply collection, it will give you the Scala object, okay. So this will be the Scala object. To iterate iterable on the collection object, you have for each function. So this is a Scala function. So then there's a println method. You actually, if you call like this, so each line, each element in the collection, it will get printed using the println method, okay. So let me run this program. Then I'm stopping the Spark session object. So basically it is creating the Spark session. So as I said, still Spark session creation, you will get info logs. After that you will not get. Yeah, so basically we have only two lines in this two lines which has error flag, okay. So one is application yarn.application master uncaught exception, okay. So basically it is, yes, it is a text file. So each line is the end line separator, right? So it is not actually showing the entire error stack because it has become multiple. It's broken into multiple lines. So we get only the line which has error flag. So there is a two error in that yarn log, and you see this debug to string function gave us the information about lineage about the RDD, okay. So this map RDD on map RDD map partition RDD derived from the Hadoop RDD, okay. So yeah, so filter function is applied, okay. And also on this Hadoop RDD, the Hadoop RDD came from the applying the text file function. So this is how then I am storing the each lines, okay. So this is the a simple example. So how do you construct RDD using file from any storage, okay. So and also I create one more example where we can programmatically create RDD, okay. So using the parallelize function, you can create RDD programmatically. So basically, so in this program, it's again same Scala object, and it has main method. I just created the Spark session object. Then I created a list. Okay, so to create list in Scala, I use the list keyword and followed by the elements you want to specify. Okay, so if people are new to the Scala, so I'm going to create a new video on Scala fundamentals. So probably you can go through that to get familiar with the Scala, and then so this is a simple collection a list. So we created a list of 6 elements. So if you want to convert this list into RDD, so there is a function called parallelize. Okay, you pass the Scala collection object and followed by a number of partitions. So basically, we want to create a RDD with the multiple partitions so that it can run in parallel and it will be faster. So I given partition as 3. I got names RDD. So then I am applying a map transformation. So I want to apply the function to uppercase. So I want to convert all this element into uppercase. So I got a new RDD names uppercase RDD, and then applying a filter to get only the elements which has spark keyword. Okay, the word spark. Okay, so if you do that, only the 4 element will come from this RDD. Okay, so then I am doing the again debug string to know the RDD lineage, and I am collecting each elements from the names uppercase spark RDD. Okay, using the collect action and the for each function and print to print the value. So let me run this. This is RDD. So again it is going to create a Spark session object for this application. So Spark session is introduced in from Spark version 2.0. Okay, before that we had only Spark context. See, this is the lineage about this names uppercase Spark RDD, and this is the final set of elements we were having it in the RDD final RDD. 4 elements, because we filtered only the Spark elements which are Spark word. Okay, that's how we can create RDD using programmatically and as well as using reading a file. Okay, I hope this video is useful. So we'll continue with so next session I'm going to go through each transformation we can apply on RDD, and we'll continue that. And also we'll once transformation is completed, we'll do actions, and then we'll start data frame and data set. Thank you so much, friends. Please subscribe to my channel to get more technology videos. Okay, thank you so much.